Hi there, we're Birds of Poole Harbour. We're a local environmental charity that looks to focus on bird conservation, preservation and education in and around the Poole Harbour area. But the main aim of the charity is to really engage people with Poole Harbour's bird life, get them excited, connected and enthused about how they can go out and see birds around the Poole Harbour area and also get involved in active conservation. As a charity, we're not landowners ourselves. We don't have great big nature reserves that we manage, but what we do is we do work with lots of partners and stakeholders and invest in projects, with other people. So work very closely with RSPB, National Trust, Dorset Wildlife Trust, private landowners, to really try and utilise as many opportunities as possible to make areas good for birds and also for people to come and see and learn about birds as well. But I suppose our landmark project, the one that most people have been following over the last several years, is our Osprey Reintroduction project that we're doing in partnership with the Roy Dennis Wildlife Foundation.
Ospreys are such a fantastic, charismatic species, and they're known for their migrations, and being a fish-eating bird of prey, Poole Harbour is absolutely perfect for them. Locally, we would have seen them here 200-300 years ago breeding all along the south coast, and they were known as the mullet hawk because of their ability to catch grey mullet from the harbour with such efficiency. Very sadly, they were persecuted to extinction across much of Western Europe, and it's been a real struggle to bring them back. Fortunately, they've naturally recolonised Scotland, but we're working really hard here on the south coast to bring them back through the Osprey Reintroduction project. To achieve a breeding population on the south coast, we use a method known as translocation, and you can see behind us we've got the large pens that we release the birds into after collecting them from nests up in Scotland, working with the Roy Dennis Wildlife Foundation to make sure we're taking them from a really strong and resilient population. The birds stay in the pens for a few weeks and then they're released into the Poole Harbour landscape, and then our job is nearly done. We basically monitor the birds, we feed them still, but they'll leave on their migration and we have to wait for them to return a few years later. 2022 has seen the first success of this project, seeing 022, one of our translocated males, breeding for the first time with a local female, CJ7, who's been coming to the harbour since 2017, and it's been a very special year. It's been filled with success, and seeing people's reaction online through our webcam has been remarkable.
So after several years of really hard work, the reintroduction's been going on since 2017. 2022 has now finally seen the fruits of our labour, and we've had this year the first breeding ospreys in southern Britain for 200 years. And this spring, CJ7, our female, and 022, the male, both returned safely from their migration and raised young, which was just phenomenal. I'm sure many of you have been watching the webcam. Successfully raised 2 young that both fledged in late July. I'm sure some of you saw the dramas when a juvenile goshawk took one of our chicks, which is unfortunately a natural occurrence, and we're going to see similar things happen over many years. It's just the way it is with nature. But we have had successful breeding. Our osprey family have now disappeared off on migration, leaving kind of end of August, beginning of September. And it's been fantastic, absolutely brilliant, with people engaging, watching, wanting to learn, see and understand osprey ecology. And it's just been wonderful to experience. So when we started the reintroduction back in 2017, we put on a couple of boat trips to kind of highlight the project and show people some ospreys out on the water and explain, why reintroductions are so important, how they work, and give them the mechanics of the project and how it works. What we'd never really anticipated or expected, which has really taken us by surprise, but just shows how much excitement and interest there is for not just ospreys, but for reintroductions and for an enhanced environment as a whole, is that this summer we've done 30 osprey cruises. We've gone from doing 3 to 30. In 2017 we took out 150 people. This year we've taken out 1,600, and that's over a 5-year period that it has increased that much. And obviously it's not only ospreys. Our partners in the project, the Roy Dennis Foundation, are also responsible for being part of the Whitetailed Eagle reintroduction on the Isle of Wight that they're doing with Forestry England. We now have Whitetailed Eagles visiting the harbour, and on most of the trips we were seeing ospreys and eagles flying around Poole Harbour skies together. It was breathtaking. I've never in my whole life having grown up in Poole Harbour, you know, been birding it my entire life, never ever thought I would see the day that we would have Osprey family as well as white-tailed eagles soaring around the harbour together, often interacting, which was also incredible. And it's just kind of changed, I think, a lot of people's understanding and perception and want for the local area. You know, people are wanting to see species return, they're wanting a better environment, they're wanting a better landscape, and everyone locally, thankfully, is working really hard for that. We've got big landscape scale nature restoration projects going on, we've got reintroductions happening, you know, it's all coming together locally, it feels really nicely. And ecotourism is without doubt a big part of Dorset's future. We've seen it this year and it's only going to get bigger. And it's a great way to inform people and educate people about why this area is so special and so important.
We expect that Poole Harbour will be able to host around 6 pairs of ospreys in the immediate local area, but we're working with landowners all across the south coast to be able to install nesting platforms to make sure that they're restored to their previous range as well. White-tailed eagles, we could realistically see breeding in the harbour in the next 5 to 10 years, which is incredibly special. Seeing people's reactions to these species on the boats means that we're welcoming them, which is incredibly important because we're still facing raptor persecution all across the UK, and we need to ensure that people are ready for these birds to be back, because they will be very soon. We're seeing such a change in mindsets in relation to these species being reintroduced into Poole Harbour, and it's not just Birds of Poole Harbour that are working to do this. National Trust are working to reintroduce beavers to Littlesea at Studland, which will see changes in the ecosystem, creating wetlands which will impact invertebrates, fish species, bats, birds, and it's going to be fantastic to see them restored. Hopefully we're going to be working to reintroduce chough in the next couple of years, which is fantastic, working with landowners in the Purbex to make sure that they're using the right farming techniques to make sure these birds can be restored.
But the other thing to really focus on and understand is just how much positive environmental work is going on locally. It can't be underestimated, or how well it's working around Purbeck, southern Britain, and further east and west as well. I mean, you go east and you've got the Knepp estate, which is getting a huge amount of recognition for the amazing work that they're doing. You go north of us here up onto the Somerset Levels, you know, I think that is now the largest national nature reserve in the country. But everyone that's been working super hard here in the Purbecks with the new Purbeck Heath National Nature Reserve, where you've got the Rempstone Estate, Dorset Wildlife Trust, National Trust, Natural England, RSPB, private landowners, you know, looking to do a huge landscape scale piece of land restoration and management. So you tie in beavers, you tie in eagles, you tie in ospreys and choughs and cranes that they're doing up on the Somerset Levels. It feels like we're just at the beginnings of something very special. So it's really exciting to be part of this, and Purbeck moving forward is going to be a real focal point for nature conservation, nature restoration, because of the work that everybody jointly is doing, and it feels very exciting to be a part of that.